हरि ओम्. ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै. ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः. हरिः ॐ. Welcome you all to Open Learning for All OLA Sanskrit Sahitya Rasaswada lecture series, and we have started reading Abhijnana Sakuntalam, the master composition, the eternal composition of the love of Dushyanta and Shakuntala. And we just saw how Shakuntala has entered the stage. So the delight to the eyes, she has already entered on the stage with her two equally fascinating and very charming friends, Anasuya and Priyambada. And we saw last time that Priyambada and Shakuntala are having a very free sort of conversation, and Shakuntala is saying that this kesara vrukshakaha maam vaterita pallavangulibhihi ita eva tvarayati iva maam ta yavadenam sambhavayami. And when she goes and stands near that kesara vrukshaka, not a very tall tree but growing plant, so Priyambada says latasanathaha eva iva ayam kesara vrukshakaha pratibhati. So here Priyambada has given her an upamana of lata, okay, that's a creeper, and he is a vrukshaka. Now we all saw that how lata and vruksha, because lata intertwines herself with her twigs and tendrils, the hard and very robust, stout trunk of the tree, and grows with his help, right? So similarly, a delicate woman would require the shoulder of a very robust, manly person, with the help of whom she can also grow up. So now here the comparison of Shakuntala with Lata, and that is carried forward by Dushyanta as well. Now when Priyambada makes this remark, hala Shakuntale atraiva tavan muhurtam tishtha yavat tvaya upabhogataya latasanathaha iva ayam kesara vrukshakaha pratibhati. Tvaya upagataya, when you are standing near it, tvayopagataya ayam kesara vrukshakaha latasanathaha iva pratibhati. And Shakuntala mockingly, bashfully, but she likes that comment in her heart, she loves it, and she says atah khalu priyambada sitvam. That's why you are named Priyambada. You talk so sweet, This is what meri man ki baat chhin li, like, So atah khalu priyambada sitvam. And Raja now, he carries forward the same upamana of lata used for Shakuntala. We'll see the next verse, very beautiful verse, verse number 19 here in M.R. Kale's edition, but this is like verse number 21 for Gajendra Gadkar, because we have seen two interpolated verses in between, right? So this is also Arya, the very favorite meter of Kalidasa. Adhara kisalaya ragaha कोमल विटपानुकारिणी बाहु कुसुममिव लोभनीयं यौवनमंगेषु सन्नद्धम. Yauvanam, the youthfulness, or shall we have the Anvaya first? Asyaha Shakuntalayaha adharaha kisalaya ragaha asti vartate, okay, whatever verb, so that it makes a full sentence. Asyaha Shakuntalayaha adharaha, the lower lip, kisalaya ragaha vartate, is of the color of kisalaya, the tender foliage of a creeper, not of a tree now, creeper, because she is lata, right? and in comparison to the tree, the pallava or kisalaya of a creeper will be still delicate, more delicate and more reddish in color. Okay. So asyaha adharaha kisalaya ragaha vartate. Asyaha bahu, bahu is dvivachana, dirgha ukaranta dvivachana, bahu, bahu, bhavaha. So asyaha bahu komala vitapa anukarinau staha asti staha santi or vartete. Okay. So her bahu, her arms longing, like suspended, long bahu, they are anukarinau, as if imitating komala vitapa, the very tender branches or twigs or branches. Komala vitapanukarinau asyaha bahu vartete. Then angeshu kusumam iva lobhaniyam yauvanam sannadham vartate or asti. Angeshu, in all her body parts, in all her organs, in all her limbs, yauvanam, the youthfulness is as if thus ke bhara hai, mus lela tarunya. It is there to its brim. Sannadham vartate yauvanam. Sannadham vartate, it is, like it pervades or it has enveloped, it has overpowered all her limbs. Her entire body is showing, exhibiting, manifesting youthfulness in every limb, in every part of the limb. Okay. So that is the general meaning. Now, what is so special about it? Raghava Bhatta is there, the commentator, the Sanskrit Tikakara. He has given a very long tika on this apparently very simple verse. You now already got the meaning of it, right? Her lower lip is resembling the tender foliage of a creeper. Her bahu, her arms are as if imitating the tender twigs or branches of a lata, of a creeper, and as if the youthfulness has pervaded her entire body in every part of her body. That is the general meaning, right? But now, as far as the Alankara Shastra is concerned, Natyashastra, Kama Shastra, all these Shastras are concerned, in that everything is suggestive of something. So if we read Raghava Bhatta's commentary, we will be able to see and gauge all what he wants to tell us. So let us read from the commentary here. Asyaha adharaha. I will comment upon every word like adhara, vitapa, etc. I have some lexical and what you can say, the etymological explanations of that we'll see later. Let us first see, because Raghava Bhatta also has not taken into consideration all that. By the way, somebody not just few days back, or maybe some 15-20 days back, he wrote me on my WhatsApp that this trivia, which I forget the name of the person, it is he or she, that also I don't remember, but that person wrote to me that these trivia, the little things which you tell us, they are more charming and we simply love it. So keep enjoying. I will be telling whenever I find more time to research on that. Okay. So asyaha iti adharaha adharoshthaha kisalaya iva ragaha yasya saha pallava tamraha. So it is tamraha, copper color, pallava tamraha, copper color of pallava, the tender foliage. Kisalaya, so kisalaya is of that color, pallava tamraha. Bahu vitapau skandhau urdhvashakhe tadanukarinau tatsadrushau. So bahu, her arms are skandhau, Tadanukarinau, Urdhva Shakhe, the upward branches, how they stretch upwards and then, they lie horizontal. We have seen the Shakhaha, Khe Sherate iti Shakha. So that we have already seen. So, Skandhad urdhvam taro shakha katapro vitapo mataha. Skandhad urdhvam, over and above the trunk, the main trunk of the tree. Skandhad urdhvam, जो branches निकल आते हैं ना आढ़े वैसे. Skandhad urdhvam taro shakha, that is called vitapa. Okay. So there is the whole trunk first, and then whatever branches go up. That is vitapa. Komala shabdena agrajatvam tayoho vyajyate. So when it is said komala vitapanukarinau bahu, it is not the hard branch which is horizontally lying, but the offshoots of those branches which are coming, on the tip of that agraja. On that branch, there are some offshoots coming, the sub branches, you can say, the twigs. So that is what is mentioned. Komala shabdena agrajatvam tayoho vyajyate. Angeshu sannadham sannaham prapitam ati utkatam iti yavat. Angeshu yauvanam sannadham ati utkatam, the youthfulness. जैसे मैंने हिंदी में कहा ठूस ठूस के बरा है यौवन, यौवनशाली है, वो यौवन शालिनी है. So in Marathi we say musmusnara tarunya asa. We can't translate that. There are some phrases which are untranslatable, right? Atra angeshu iti bahuvachanena. Now angeshu is used as a bahuvachana. Now what does it indicate? For that we need a commentary. We can't read that. This is reading between the lines, which a commentator helps us do it. Okay? So, Angeshu iti bahuvachanena, what all things are suggested? Vadane kantimatta, luster on her face. Vadane kantimatta, nayanayoho taralata, chanchalya in her eyes. Kanthe Kambu Trirekhavatvam, there is Trirekhavatvam on the neck, on the kantha. Vakshasi Stano Jrumbhanam, the plump breasts. Vakshasi Stano Jrumbhanam. Nabhau Gabhirata, the very deep navel. Nitambe Madhyanimnatvam. Ubhaya bhage chaturasratvam jaghana jangha janu mandana janu mandala urudeshana mausalatvam. There has to be some more, fat, where in jaghana, in jangha, janu, the knees, and urudesha, the belly, the stomach. So here Mausalatvam, Gatau, Savilasatvam, very vilasi chal hai uski. Gatau, like a house, hansi jaisi chal. Or Gajagamini normally they say. Gatau Savilasatvam ityadi dhvanitam. These are all suggestions. So Angeshu iti, what all? Kalidasa doesn't mention all that. He just says Angeshu kusumamiva lobhaniyam yauvanam sannaddham. Kusumamiva lobhaniyam we have yet to see. Okay. Angeshu yauvanam sannaddham. Angeshu namaki, it includes all these. The vadanayoho, kantimatta, nayanayoho, taralata, kanthe, trirekhavatvam, vakshasi, stanojrumbhanam, nabho, gabhirata, nitambe, madhyanimnatvam, etc., etc., etc. Okay? And gatau savilasatvam, ityadi dhvanitam. So this is very important, and that's why we need to read the commentary. Then this yauvanam, kusumamiva lobhaniyam. Lobhaniyam chittakarshakam. Kusumam iti jatau ekavachanam. Because angeshu, it is a plural. And here you are using the upamana as kusuma, singular. right? So there should not be the vachana prakrama bhanga dosha, etc. And therefore jatau ekavachanam kusumamiti. Angeshu sannadham iti atrapi yojaniyam latangeshu sannadham ityarthaha. She is compared with Lata by Priyambada, and all her angas are also, and Lata itself is tender in comparison to a vriksha, right? In comparison to a tree, creeper is very tender, very delicate, and on top of that, all these organs which are mentioned, they are also tender and delicate like that. And Latangeshu sannadham ityarthaha. And why Kusumeshu? There is a very nice comment here. He says, Hastadis prishtasya malinatvadi sambhavat. If you touch the kusuma, why kusumeshu lobhaniyam or kusumamiva lobhaniyam? As chittakarshaka, as captivating, mind captivating as the flowers. The flowers, for longer time you hold them on your, even in your palms, the heat of the palms, murjha jate hai full. That also harms them. They are so delicate, especially the prajakta flowers. You can't even hold them in your palms, right? So malinattvadi sambhavat hastadis prishtasyapi malinattvadi sambhavat. So when it is said that her saundarya, hari yauvana is like kusuma, it is, nobody must have touched it till now, otherwise she wouldn't have looked so fresh. The fresh flower plucked and kept in a thali, puja thali, that also little bit, mana takle jatat. When it is fresh on the tree, on the creeper, how fresh it is, asprishta. The moment you pluck it and keep it, though you keep it in the water and all, for some time it will remain fresh, but not as long as it stays on the tree or the creeper itself. Okay? So, Malinatvadi Sambhava, this is a very important comment, and based on that, the next comment, the consequent comment is Evam Anuchishta Yauvanatvena Kanyatvam Dvanayata Swayogyatvam Dvanitam. This is very important, because it is asprishta, and asprishtatvat anuchishta yauvanam. Nobody has touched her so far. So hari yauvana is anuchishta. Jhootha nahi kiya hai. Nobody has touched it. Nobody has enjoyed her. Nobody has dared to even touch her. Who will touch Kanva Duhita? Right? And incur the wrath and curse of Kanva. And therefore, anuchishta yauvanena kanyatvam. She is still a virgin. Kanyatvam dvanayata swayogyatvam dvanitam. That means she is fit for me. He won't marry another married girl. He has so many other wives. He would, if at all he has to marry Dushyanta, he can marry many girls, he could have, but then he would marry only a kanya. So, asyaha kanyatvam dvanayata swayogyatvam anena suchitam. Okay. So, that is also very wonderful, and this is all dhvani. Dhvani, the suggestive power. When we say Abhidha, Lakshana and Vyanjana, Abhidha gives you the lexical meaning, the dictionary meaning, the sanketitartha or the vachyartha. Lakshana goes a step beyond that, where Abhidha is not compatible. It goes, it gives you an implied meaning, like Vishambhungshva, etc. Kakebhyo dadhirakshatam, right? And then Vyanjana is you accept the Abhidha, but still go into the deeper meaning of that and just try to find out, extract from the words if there is any suggestion indicated thereby. And to indicate such suggestions, we require highly scholastic commentators like Raghava Bhatta. Okay? Otherwise, it wouldn't have struck us at all, not at least me. So, tatascha vakshamana udayasya ankuratve paryavasanam. So, his preeti is getting sprouted, ankuratva. So, this helps in the ankuratva of his prema. And then there are so many like Upama, Samasaga Upama, Gauni Upama, Purna Upama, Shrauti Upama, etc. He has given so many what types of that, and Upamanam Samsrushti. There is a Samsrushti, a whole mixture of so many Upamas being given there. And then so this was the verse, okay. And when we say kusumam iva lobhaniyam, that already attaches that delicacy, that tenderness, that freshness, and that pleasingness or delightfulness. Kusuma, seeing the fully bloomed, blossomed flowers, anybody feels very happy. So looking at her is a happy feeling. So that is one thing. Now I wanted to tell you, the word meanings, the lexical or the etymological meaning, these trivia. Somebody said that trivia, I like that word, adharaha. Now adharah kisalaya ragaha. Adharaha is the lower lip. Adharaha is lower lip, and Oshtha stands for both. Normally Oshtha is upper lip and Adhara is the lower lip, but Oshtha in general, if you see, if you say, it means the lips in general, oat. Why Adharaha? Na dhriyate, not held up, it is down. It is down, not held up, and therefore it is called tending downwards, and therefore it is adhara. And the other word, which is something which is down and something which is up, then you have adharottaram, right? You have adharottaram. Adhara means inferior, adhara means downwards, and in contrast to that, uttaram means superior, or uttaram means higher. So that adhara is also from the same meaning, na dhriyate iti adharam. That which is not lifted up, but that which tends downwards is adhara. Okay? And oshtha, why it is called oshtha? This is very again interesting, This is the verb ushadahe. Ushadahe, in the classical literature, we don't have many uses. I mean, not at all. It is used in the classical Sanskrit language. What we use is only the nishtanta rupa of that ushna. Ushna, warm. Ushadahe. In fact, this usha was used in the Vedic language. In fact, the word usha, the early dawn, is derived from ushadahe. Of course, there is Vashakantavu also, from that also, or Uchi Vivase, from that also it is derived. So Usha has 2-3 different etymologies, but one of the etymologies is Ushadahe. And as Yaska says, what is so special about the Vedic and the classical language? Sometimes the Vedic language uses the verbs and the classical language doesn't use the verb, but uses the pratipadika of that. And sometimes it is the reverse. The pratipadikas are used in the Vedic language and the verbs are used in the classical language. Okay. So these are like, what is that? He has given some sadma sadaha, or some like sadhu, and sadhnoti is the verb, but sadha comes as a pratipadika there, as a kridanta, and ushna, the kridanta is used in the classical language, but ushadahi is used, the verb akhyata is used in the Vedic language. Anyhow, so oshtha is ushyate, ushnaharena, daihate iti oshthaha. When you something, you sip, or it's very hot, होंठ जलने लगते हैं. What you feel? The first feeling is होंठ जलते हैं, right? And therefore ushyate nama daihate ushna aharena, therefore it is called ushta. Interesting, right? So we must learn nirukta, because nirukta is artha pradhana. Shiksha, the Vedanga, I mean little diversion, but the like these Vedangas, if you talk about, the Shiksha and Vyakarana, they deal with Shabda. Then Chanda, Jyotisha and Kalpa, they deal with the Viniyoga. It is only nirukta which deals with the artha. And artha is more important. Shabdaha tad gunaha. Artha eva pradhana. And therefore nirukta is very, very important. Okay. So, oshtha. Now, komala vitapanukarinau bahu. Vitapa. I was like interested in this vitapa because in Sanskrit natakas especially, we find many times vita, nata vitadi, nata vitadayaha, right? Vita is a rogue, R-O-G-U-E, rogue. He is a shutter. He is a person, who normally deals with the prostitutes, the courtesans and all, right? He is that type of person, vita, okay? And therefore, when I saw that vitapa is like a branch, I knew the meaning of that, but why vitapa? And therefore, I did some research today. So, vitapa, one of the meanings is vitan pati iti, vitadhipaha, in this sense. Vita in the nata vitadayaha, okay? In Mritchakatika, we have the vita. In Mritchakatika, we have the vita. So, vitan pati iti. So, he is the head of such people, who deal with the courtesans and arrange like a middleman and all that, right? Dalal. And, and there is a special word for that in the Greek and Latin background, that is catamites. Catamites, C-A-T-A-M-I-T-E-S. And this goes back to the Greek philosophy, Greek mythology, I should say, not philosophy, Greek mythology. It is like Zeus, the highest god of the Greek pantheon, and he had some inclination to this catamitus, young person, and therefore whenever an adult male enjoys the company of a young boy, that is called this sort of relationship. This could tend to the homosexuality in the modern days. We are not going into all that gender things and all that, but that is one of the meanings. I mean, catamites makes a special class, and therefore, in olden days, the Greeks, they had the slaves and who used to fulfill their desires like this, the young boys, And we have this in Semitic religion. Other people also, I have come across this in the two novels, especially what is that, Not Without My Daughter, that novel, and The Last Girl. So in both these I have come across such references. So that is very painful to see. But then the relationship of an adult with a young boy, that is called this type of relation. We are not going into detail. In Sanskrit literature, we don't have vita in that sense, of course, okay? We don't have it in that sense. It is not in the strictest sense of the catamite, but it is like a person who deals closely with the courtesans, and manages their, facilitates, them for the rich people and all that. That is vita. Okay. So that is one of the meanings of vita, vitapa. Because I had that in mind, vita, and what is the connection of vita and pa? Because pa is either pati or pibati. Pata, palayita, patava, pata or palayitava, right? And therefore I had this dvipa, padapa, and then what is vitapa? So I looked into that. And then I came across one more etymology. It is from vetati, shabdayate iti. Vetati nama shabdayate iti, and the meaning given is Pallava samudayaha shakhava. Pallava samudayaha shakhava. Pallava samudaya, a bunch of leaves, or a shakha, a twig which is filled with leaves. Not a barren brown colored leaf, but a green color tender shakha, okay? And then the common one which is given for vitapa as a shakha is vitam vistaram pati pibati va iti, a branch of a creeper or a tree which gives an extension to the creeper or the tree. Vistaram pati iti. So for any extension for that matter, Vitapa could be used. But mainly it is used for the Shaka. Okay. Now the Vitapa is also clear to you. Now we come to the word Kusuma. Kusuma. Angeshu kusumamiva lobhaniyam yauvanam sannaddham. Kusuma, suma is also used in the sense of flower, and kusuma also means a flower. Suma, kavya sumam, shabda sumani diyante, shabda sumaihi swagatam kriyate, etc. We say, in Sanskrit when you are welcoming everybody, then you can't offer flowers and other things. So, shabda sumaihi swagati kriyante, atra bhavantaha janaha, etc. The welcome speech somebody would say. So, suma also means flower. Kusuma, ku is Prithvi. Kau. Kau jayante etani sumani iti kusumani. Right? And suma is what? Sushtu mati kim saundaryam iti sumam nama pushpam. Sushtu. Su is sushtu. Ma is from root ma. Akshara samanyena va nirbruyat, natveva na nirbruyat. Niruktakari Yaska says that if in a word you cannot find a verb so very easily, you break the word in syllabic portions, and from one syllable at least try to identify, try to derive some verb, akhyata. Tatra namani akhyatajani iti shakatayanaha nairukta samayascha. Right? That is what Nirukta says. So, Sushtu Mati. Kim Mati? Measures. What? Saundaryam. Sushtu Mati Saundaryam iti sumam nama pushpam. Okay. Pushpa and Kusuma, they also mean the Rajo Darshana of a girl. The puberty sign. And therefore, a girl when she attains puberty, she is called Pushpita. Okay. So, this is also very interesting to note. So, in the case of this Shakuntala, she has attained that puberty. She is not very old, but after puberty age, a few months or few years, and that's why she is so, untouched and divine, natural beauty she has. Okay. So, that is what I wanted to tell you about this Kusuma and Vitapa and Adhara and all that. Okay, let's go ahead. Anasuya, Hala Shakuntale, Iyam Swayamvara Vadhuhu, Sahakarasya, Tvaya Kritanamadheya, Vanajjotsna iti Navamalika. Enam Bismritasi, have you forgotten this creeper? Who is Navamalika, she is a jasmine creeper, and you have named her as what? Vanajjotsna. And who is she? Swayamvara Vadhuhu. She has herself selected her vara, her bride, in the form of whom? Sahakara. Sahakara is a mango tree. Sahakara is Amraha, Chutaha, it is another name is Chutaha, Amraha. Why Sahakara? Saha karayati, melayati, viyuktamapi janam. It is Sahakara. This is that tree which will unite even the divided people. Even कुछ मतलब गुस्सा हो गए हैं उनको एक साथ करा देता है. That is Sahakara. Sahakarayati, melayati iti Sahakaraha Amraha. So, she is the Swayamvara Vadhuhu. She is the, what you can say, self-selecting bride, this Vanavamalika, and you have named her as Vanajjotsna. Have you forgotten her? You have not watered her so far. So, she is just reminding Anasuya. Shakuntala says, Tada Atmanamapi Vismarishyami. If I forget her, it is as good as forgetting myself. So, she is so dear to me. She is so close to me. If I forget her, I would forget my own self. Latam upetya avalokya cha. And she is having a conversation with Lata as if she is talking to her friend. Hala. Hala is for Sakhi. We saw it, right? Hala ramaniye khalu काले एतस्य लतापादपमिथुनस्य व्यतिकरः संवृत्तः नवकुसुमयौवना वनज्योत्स्ना स्निग्धपल्लवतया उपभोगक्षमः सहकारः इति पश्यन्ति तिष्ठति. This is also very beautifully stated. She says, this is a very charming time, that the union has taken place of this couple. Which is that couple? This Vanajyotsna, who I have named as Vanajyotsna. She is a jasmine creeper and a Sahakara. So they are, she must have planted that jasmine creeper near the alavala of the mango tree, and therefore naturally the tendrils of the creeper will, embrace the tree, the bark, and then the twigs and the shakhas of that. So this is a very charming time that has taken place, the union of this couple, the creeper and the tree, and this Vanajyotsna with its Nava Kusuma Yauvana, with its newly acquired youthfulness in the form of her flowers. First time the jasmine creeper has put forth flowers. So that is Nava Kusuma Yauvana. Okay, and here we have that Kusuma in the form of Pushpa, that is the Rajo Darshana. So that was, I was linking it with. So the creeper, Vanajyotsna, has early blossoms in its youth, and the mango tree with its beautiful leaves. What is it? Beautiful leaves? Snigdha Pallavataya Upabhogakshamaha. He is all ready to enjoy the embrace of that creeper. Okay, Snigdha Pallavataya Upabhogakshamaha Sahakaraha. So he is capable of the enjoyment of her. Now this also, there is some commentary by Raghava Bhatta. So let us read that first and then we'll go ahead. Komala, this Komala Shabdena, etc., etc. Then Vyatikaraha Sanshleshaha, their meeting, their union. Vyatikaraha is Sanshleshaha. Nava Kusuma Yauvana Navani Prathama Udgatani Kusumani Tani Eva Yauvanam Yasyaha Sa Nava Kusuma Yauvana. Okay. Snigdha Pallavataya Upabhogakshamaha Sahakaraha Navam Kusumam Nama Rajo Darshanam Yasyaha Sa Snigdhaha cha sau Pallavaha Vitapascha Tatvena iti Nayaka Vyavahara Aropat Samasoktihi. So there is a Samasokti here. Why? Because there are 2-3 meanings of this Nava Pallava. Pallava, in fact, if you see any lexicon, any dictionary for that matter, Pallava is basically the tender, new foliage, new leaves. That is the basic meaning. And it also means Pallava, a lover full of affection. Nava Pallava, a lover. There are so many meanings of Pallava. Okay. Pallava, you attach a Strilingi Pratyaya to that. Pallavi, it becomes Pallavi, it becomes Anguli. Pallavi is Anguli. Okay. And Kara Pallavi, this is a sign of, a sort of sign language. Kara Pallavi, Netra Pallavi we say, with eyes some people can speak. And the dumb people, they have the hand movements, the finger movements, Kara Pallavi. So that's a sign language. Okay. It's a mudra in dance, Pallavi. Then Pallavi also, Pallava and Pallavi, it also suggests the Desha Visheshaha, the Tamil Nadu people, the Tamil Nadu, the southern India. Pallava also means the red color, because the Nava Pallava is reddish in color, right? Nava Pallava is Kisalaya, red in color. And what is red in color? Alaktaka. And therefore Pallava also means Alaktaka. See, what is the Artha Pradhanyata? All this depends upon the Artha Pra. Why one meaning has multiple, one word has multiple meanings? Because during the context the meaning changes. So Pallava can also mean Alaktaka, because Pallava is red in color, Alaktaka is red in color, and therefore Pallava means Alaktaka. Pallava also means Vastrantaha. Vastrantaha, the tip, the end of the Vastra, and therefore we call it what? Pallu, right? Pallu, Padar, Palav, Pallu. So that is what is the meaning of Pallu. Pallu, Pallu chota hai, bada hai, Patli, Palav, Sari. There are some saris like that, Whatever is on the Pallu, the same thing is there in the pleats also. Patli, Pallu. When I was young, I am young even now, only 70 years young now. When I was 30 years young, 40 years back, there was this fashion of Patli, Pallu, Sari, and I had one or two of that kind, I remember. So there are so many meanings of this Pallava, okay. So Snigdhani Pallavani Yasya Tasya Bhavaha Taya Snigdha Pallavataya, okay. And this is owing to the possession of lovely leaves. This also suggests a lover who is full of affection, Snigdhaha. Thus both are in a fit state for union. She with her fresh Rajodarshana, she as a woman, and that creeper, she with her freshly first maiden flowers which she has put forth, and he now, Dushyanta, will be Upabhogakshama and Sahakara because of Snigdha Pallavataya. Okay, so both these are having pun on the word. Pallava and Kusuma both having pun, and therefore they are suggestive of Shakuntala and Dushyanta, our Nayaka and Nayika. Okay, so Snigdha Pallavataya Upabhogakshamaha Sahakaraha iti Pashyanti tishtati. She just, gazing at that lovingly, and she stops there, looking at the tree and the creeper. Priyambada says to Anasuya, Anasuye, Janasi, Kim Shakuntala Vanajyotsnam Atimatram Pashyatiti. Why she is intently looking at Vanajyotsna, do you know? Anasuya, the poor thing, she is little matured, but she is not as vibrant and bubbly as Priyambada is. She is little bit thoda serene, gambhir type of friend. She says, Na khalu vibhavayami kathaya. I don't guess, I don't, and she doesn't want to guess basically. I don't know what it is. You kathaya, you tell me. Then Priyambada says, Yatha vanajyotsna anurupena padapena sangata apinama eva ahamapi atmanaha anurupam varam labheya iti. Why Shakuntala is intently looking at the tree? As this Navamalika, Vanajyotsna, got a very appropriate, very suitable bride for her. When will I get a suitable bride for me? With that feeling in her mind, she is intently looking at the creeper, or the Samshlesha, the embracing, the union, the togetherness of the creeper and the tree. Shakuntala, Eshaha Nunam Tava Atmagataha Manorathaha. Shakuntala loves the comment. She would definitely have loved it, but then she said, this is all tumhare man ka khel hai. All, this is not what I want, but jo man mein hai, wo agar koi dusra kehta hai, this is not what I wanted to say, right? So, Esha Nunam Tava Atmagataha Manoratha. See the way, the conversation is taking place. Had they known that there was somebody in the vicinity watching them and listening to their conversation, would they have this chat so freely? That's why Padapantarhita eva drakshami. That's why Dushyanta is keeping away, and Visrabdham enam pashyami. Freely, so that she is so free and they can have a free chat. Apinama kulapatehe iyam asavarna kshetra sambhava syat athava kritam sandehena. The king is just thinking to himself, Asamshayam kshetra parigraha kshama यदार्यम अस्याम अभिलाषि मे मनः सताम हि संदेह पदेषु वस्तुषु प्रमाणमंतःकरण प्रवृत्तयः. Beautiful Arthantaranyasa again. Now Raja is just thinking, the Vaikhanasa had told him that Kanva Maharshi has gone to Somatirtha assigning all the duties and responsibilities to his daughter Shakuntala. But now he is thinking now, how could this Kulapati have a daughter of his own? Asamshayam tarhi Kulapatehe iyam asavarna kshetra sambhava syat. This maybe, she is born of some other lady to this Kulapati. Can she be the daughter of Kulapati? That is his first question. Is she a Brahmana Kanya? That means, can I marry her because he is a Kshatriya? If he were to marry a Brahmana, it will be Pratiloma Vivaha. According to the Dharmashastras, the four Varnas, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Brahmana being the uppermost Varna, he can marry the women from all the three Varnas plus his own Varna. Kshatriya can marry a Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra. Vaishya can marry a Vaishya and Shudra. Shudra can marry only a Shudra. If it were to go above in an ascending order, it is Pratiloma Vivaha. And Pratiloma Vivaha is not Dharma Sammata. You have to take special permissions, do some special prayashchitta, some vidhana, etc. You have to follow. Otherwise, this is not possible. One example we have is like Yayati marrying Devayani, right? But such examples are very rare, and therefore he is, because he is a Kshatriya, he is just thinking, is she really the daughter of Kanva, Brahmana Kanya? Maybe Asavarna Kshetra Sambhava. Maybe she is born from Asavarna Kshetra, not his Varna Kshetra. Kshetra is a woman. Kshetra here means a woman. She might be born from a woman of another Varna, which is not like the Brahmana Varna, which is not a Brahmana Varna, a Savarna, some inferior Varna, a Kshatriya or a Vaishya or a Shudra. Kulapati can marry, it's not that he cannot marry, right? But then, a Savarna Kshetra Sambhava Syat. Api. Why? He is developing some sort of fascination for her. First it was just a curiosity, then a sympathy, such a beautiful girl and clad in a bagh garment. Now slowly appreciation slowly turning into love, we saw last time. And therefore, if that feeling of getting married to her comes to my mind, is it justifiable? Can I marry her? So he is in his mind thinking of marrying her, okay? And for that, he has to make it, like sound so very logical and practical that nobody can question him. Because he is a Raja. Yatha Raja Tatha Praja. If Raja sets a wrong precedence, all the people will follow the wrong precedences only. So he cannot deviate from the prescribed rules and regulations of the Varnashrama system. See, Kalidasa's era, Kalidasa's age, we can say, must be nearer to the Dharmashastra period. Otherwise, by the time, 5th, 6th century comes, the Varnashrama Dharma was not so strictly followed. We see that, right? And therefore, we tend to put Kalidasa in an earlier time and not the 5th century CE time. Anyhow, so he has that doubt in his mind and he says, why should I, even think of that? Asamshayam kshatra parigraha kshamasa. Without any doubt, undoubtedly, she is fit to be married to a Kshatriya. Yad. Why? Yad. Because Aryam me manaha asyam abhilashi. Because my noble mind has taken a fascination for her, longing for her. I won't long for any, aira gaira. my longing. He has so much confidence in him that, if I long for someone, and that too for a longer association, it's not flirting. He wants to marry her, right? He doesn't want to just flirt and just leave her like that. Not like the source books which we have seen, Brahmadatta Raja and the Jataka story. Not like that, okay? So there is a strong connection happening. Ye hridayi se te hridayi. He wants to marry her, and therefore he is consoling himself. Enough of misgivings, enough of misconceptions and thoughts and deliberations and ifs and buts. I feel asamshayam, undoubtedly she is fit to be married by a Kshatriya, because my mind is stolen by her. My mind won't be stolen by anybody else like that. Aryam me manaha asyam abhilashi. And then from that particular, his own example, he deduces a very commonly used sentence, a common experience of all of us whenever we are in a dilemma, when we doubt our own decisions, whether I should do this or this. Should I go to this marriage function? Should I skip that? What they will feel if I don't go? If I go there, it's not good. This, that, sometimes we are at the loggerheads and we don't know what to do. At that time, what we see, what we do, we just close our eyes and listen to our inner voice. Does my heart want me to go? Okay, let me go. Whatever may people say, or they may object, or whatever. If my heart says go, I will go. If my heart says no, don't go, I will not go. What we follow? Our heart. That's what Kalidasa gives in a very beautiful generalization when he says, Satam hi sandeha padeshu vastushu pramanam antahkarana pravrittayaha. Satam, noble people. Provided you are noble, then only you can follow your heart's call, your sixth sense. Many times we say, my sixth sense doesn't allow me to do it. Our five senses are, we all know the Jnanendriyas, but the sixth sense is our mind, our heart. So sixth sense calling, and we listen to our heart's call many times, right? Not hard call, it is heart's call. Satam hi sandeha padeshu vastushu pramanamantah karana pravrittayaha. So that is the unfailing guide. Our call, what our heart says, is unfailing guide, unerring decision it gives. It doesn't make any mistake. Infallible, it doesn't make any mistakes, and there are no fallacies there. So I should go by what my heart says. But then before doing that, he would like to get the birth account of her as well. Okay, that he will take later on, but then he would definitely look for that. So a Kshatriya cannot marry a Brahmana girl. By Manusmriti, there are some quotations given, and the king therefore hopes that Shakuntala is a Kshatriya's daughter, if not a Vaishya or a Shudra, okay, but not of a Brahmana wife, because his heart is going towards her. In that case, there could be an objection, to marry her, but if she is a Kshatriya, there won't be any objection to marry her. And for she would then belong to a mixed tribe called Murdha Abhishikta or Murdha Sikta, the progeny of a Brahmana father and a Kshatriya mother and all that. So these are all the Dharmashastra terms which he has used here. Okay. So athava kritam sandehena, and then he gives this asamshayam Kshatra Parigraha Kshamasa. So it must be pointed out here that Dushyanta is found that Dushyanta is found fault with for the sentiments expressed in this stanza. He calls his mind Arya and indirectly styles himself as Sat. So this is, some people say that, you know, how can he call himself as Arya? Yad Aryam me manaha asyam abhilashi. And then Satam hi sandeha padeshu vastushu. So he calls himself as Sat also. He calls himself as Arya also. So this is Atmastuti. This is Atmastuti, and thus Atmastuti is supposed to detract from his character as a Dhirodatta Nayaka. So that is an objection by certain critics, certain commentators. The answer to this is that as the self-praise is indirect, and proceeds from righteous self-confidence, it does not offend against a good test. The truth seems to be that the stanza, as noted before, is intended to quiet the inner voice. After all, it is not given to man to love and to be wise. This stanza is quoted in the Dasharupaka as an instance of Abhilasha. So this is a very good instance of Abhilasha, but then this is not clearly the Atmastuti, this is self-confidence. We must have Svatmabhimana. We must know where we stand, right? And Dushyanta does exactly the same. He knows what he is. He is following the dharma and he is liked by all his people because he is Dharmika Raja, and therefore he should not bother what others say. If my mind endorses my feeling, my love, my Abhilasha, then it must be right. So it is not that because I long for her, I am coming to the conclusion that she is good for me. No, it is not like that. Because a person whose longing has come a long way from his dharma acharana, then that person's decisions would never go wrong. So that is an indirect manner of interpreting the Atmastuti and defend our Dhirodatta Nayaka Dushyanta. Okay. Next time we'll see, the next beautiful verse, Chalapangam Sprishasi, etc. Till then, Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.